Excellencies, dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Pavel Mraz from the Czech Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it's my great pleasure and an honor to welcome you at the public closing ceremony of Prague 5G Security Conference focused on the issue of emerging disruptive technologies. This conference is organized by the National Cyber and Information Security Agency, NÚKIB, under the auspices of Prime Minister of the Czech Republic and in cooperation with the Czech Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Over the last 2 days, government officials, private sector representatives, and members of civil society came together to discuss how to ensure resilient, secure, and trusted 5G networks in the context of emerging destructive technologies that indeed have the potential to revolutionize the existing threat landscape. And the outcomes of the conference are summarized in Prague proposals on cybersecurity of emerging disruptive technologies and in additional proposals on telecommunications supplier diversity. These outcomes are publicly available at the conference website. And now it's my great pleasure and an honor to welcome the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Czech Republic, Mr. Jakub Kulhánek, who will deliver closing remarks of the conference. Mr. Minister, I hope we're coming through clear and fine.
Yes. And I hope you can hear me and also you can see me.
Yes, indeed, you're coming through. Please, we're ready for your closing remarks.
Okay. All right, lovely. Well, dear Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to give some closing remarks at the third Prague 5G Security Conference. Actually, I am currently on my way from the NATO meeting of foreign ministers in Riga to Stockholm, where the meeting of the OSCE ministers begins this evening. Security in all shapes and forms is uppermost on my mind these days. But first, I would like to thank you all for your active and constructive contributions. Your participation shows a strong commitment to advance global debate on the protection of supply chains used for building 5G networks and the role of emerging and disruptive technologies. My thanks go to the organizers of this event, the Czech National Cyber and Information Security Agency. Thank you very much for organizing this event under the current difficult circumstances. Also, many thanks for giving us the opportunity to share lessons learned and thoughts on the critical importance of secure 5G infrastructure, especially as we are witnessing the arrival of emerging disruptive technology, or EDTs for short. EDTs have become a topic of considerable attention lately. Our growing dependence on information and communication technologies implies that we must look carefully at security aspects and raise awareness and identify concrete risks. On one hand, EDTs will have many positive, transformative impacts on society and can work enablers of human rights and freedoms. On the other hand, though, the exact opposite can easily manifest itself with potentially disastrous impacts. Moreover, the emergence of such technologies can profoundly reshape the existing geopolitical landscape, introducing new security challenges. For example, the expansion of 5G infrastructure and big data advanced analytics will enable unprecedented expansion of artificial intelligence, including introducing new innovative applications including the military. After all, the great power competition of the future will probably move more and more to smartphones, computers, and the digital infrastructure that supports them. In this respect, I appreciate that this conference has agreed on concrete proposals concerning EDTs, which will be published at the end of this conference. At the same time, I also welcome that the security of 5G mobile networks and the next generation infrastructure have been discussed widely during this conference. Secure and resilient supply chains, as well as a diverse and competitive marketplace of trustworthy vendors for EDTs, are essential to the security and prosperity of our digital society. No doubt, data is one of the most valuable commodities of our time, used for civil, commercial, and military purposes by governments and the private sector across the world. Since EDTs rely heavily on data, governments, as well as other entities, should implement appropriate measures and risk-based mechanisms to help to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of data. Only then we will be able to reduce risk of data corruption, increase confidence in information and decision-making, and provide appropriate privacy protection. Finally, I am pleased that the third Prague 5G Security Conference has come up with some solutions. In this respect, I welcome the unveiling of the Prague proposals on cybersecurity of emerging and disruptive technologies. Countries can use this document to ensure more secure deployment of the EDTs concerning both national and human security. To conclude, I would like to thank you for your active contribution and an open discussion during last 2 days. I believe that through our shared expertise, we will be able to preserve our common values and contribute to building a safer, freer, and more resilient digital world. Thank you very much.
Mr. Minister Kulhanek, thank you so much for your closing remarks. And while we have at times lost your video, let me assure you that your voice was coming through clear and fine throughout. And thank you so much for being a champion of trusted and secure and human-centric digital transformation. Thank you so much. And now it's my great honor and a pleasure to give the floor to Director Řehka of the National Cyber and Information Security Agency, who will deliver his final remarks and officially close this conference. And with that, I say final farewell and thank you so much. Mr. Director, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, dear colleagues, I would like to thank you all for having participated in the third Prague 5G Security Conference. I am delighted that the conference was truly global. Over the past 2 days, we had the opportunity to hear almost 70 speakers from around the world, from Europe, the United States, Japan, Australia, Korea, India, Singapore, Israel, or United Arab Emirates. This year, the main topic and focus was on emerging and disruptive technologies security in relation to the 5G security. Continuous discussion on 5G security, with our focus including a need of supplier diversity, is also crucial. In only 2 days, we have covered a large variety of topics, focusing on tangible approaches to EDTs or emerging disruptive technologies, security. We have also discussed the suppliers' high-risk profiling in supply chain, creating trusted supplier diversity, and operators' 5G strategies, strategic autonomy in EDTs, and potential regulatory, strategic, and policy responses to emerging disruptive technologies. More broadly, we have discussed the recent developments and challenges ahead of us. Last but not least, the conference was multi-stakeholder, and that is very important. We have heard views on the implications of 5G security from state representatives, representatives of international organizations, think tanks, researchers, operators, and subject matter experts from around the world. Building on the Prague proposals endorsed in 2019 and more concrete discussions and launch of Prague 5G repository in 2020, the conference outcome this year are the Prague proposals on cybersecurity of emerging and disruptive technologies and the Prague proposals on telecommunications supplier diversity. I would like to use this opportunity to once again invite all participating states to support these proposals to build a more secure environment in emerging and disruptive technologies, as well as promote suppliers' diversity. The key takeaway from this year's conference is that emerging and disruptive technologies require our attention, responsible approaches, and collaboration based on trust. The Czech Republic is ready to continue with its international efforts in the field of 5G and emerging disruptive technology security, with a particular focus on supply chain security. We will work closely with our partners, including in the framework of the European Union, NATO, and other international organizations. Dear colleagues, let me now say a few words of appreciation and to thank our partners and those who participated on this great conference. NUKIP got a great support from our national partners, mostly from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Industry and Trade, Ministry of Defense, Office of the Government, and also from others. But most importantly, we received a great support, constructive feedback, and ideas from many international partners during preparation of Prague proposals and also during the conference discussions. Thank you all very much for your support and for your contribution. Last but not least, what is also very important is to appreciate and thank our conference organizational team and technical support staff for their great work and achievement. We wouldn't have this wonderful event and we wouldn't reach anything if we didn't have the great organizational team and a great technical support that work really hard so we can have this successful event. Thank you very much, all of you. Dear colleagues, I wish you a healthy and successful end of the year 2021, and I look forward to welcoming you, let's hope this time in person, in Prague next year for the 4th iteration of this conference. Next year, we plan to make this conference the main cybersecurity event of our presidency of the Council of the European Union, and at the same time, we are committed to keep this conference in the same global format. Thank you very much for your support and participation. We are looking forward to continue our fruitful discussions next year. Thank you.